There comes a moment in everyone's life when something inside you whispers, there is more. You are more. You can do more. It's a silent but insistent call that comes from the depths of your being. An invitation to awaken from a sleep you didn't even know you were in. An invitation to recognize a truth that was forgotten, but never lost. The truth that you are infinitely more powerful than you have been taught to believe. This is the call to the quantum awakening of wealth. And if you are here now, reading these words, feeling something resonate within you, know that it is not a coincidence, it is synchronicity. It is the universe responding to your inner call. You are ready. Ready to awaken from limitation and remember magnificence. Ready to change your frequency and, with it, completely change your life. Close your eyes for a moment and feel you've spent years, perhaps decades, living at a frequency that isn't your true nature. A frequency of limitation, scarcity, doubt, fear. And that frequency has created a corresponding reality. But that's not who you are. It's just who you've been programmed to believe you are. And programming can be rewritten, frequencies can be changed, realities can be transformed. Quantum awakening isn't about adding something to you. It's about removing layers of conditioning that have obscured your true essence. It's like dusting off a diamond. The diamond has always been there, brilliant, valuable, perfect, just covered in layers of dirt. Your inherent wealth, your ability to thrive, your power to manifest have always been within you, just obscured by limiting programming. And when you awaken, when you clear away the layers, something extraordinary happens. You remember. You remember that you are not a drop trying to reach the ocean. You are the entire ocean expressing itself as a drop. You remember that you are not separate from the source of infinite abundance. You are a unique expression of that source. You remember that you don't need to attract wealth from the outside. You need to allow the wealth that already exists within you to express itself through you. This journey of awakening is simultaneously the most challenging and the most liberating you can undertake. Challenging because it requires you to question everything you believe to be true. Liberating because when you release old limiting truths, you access power you didn't even know you possessed. The power to create, the power to manifest, the power to live a life beyond your wildest dreams. But awakening is not a single event. It's a process. It's a journey. It's a continuous expansion of consciousness that happens in layers and waves and progressive revelations. You don't fully awaken all at once. You awaken gradually, layer by layer, revelation after revelation. And each awakening takes you to a higher frequency. And a higher frequency leads you to a more abundant reality. Think of your current life as a dream. Not in the sense of an empty illusion, but in the sense that it is constructed by your consciousness, shaped by your beliefs, created by your vibrational frequency. And like any dream, it can be changed. When you change the dreamer, you change the dream. When you change your consciousness, you change your reality. When you change your frequency, you literally change your life. Quantum physics has confirmed what mystics have always known. Reality is not fixed. It is fluid. It is probabilistic. It is responsive to consciousness. At the quantum level, all possibilities exist simultaneously. The life you live now is just one of infinite possibilities. And you are constantly choosing, through your vibrational frequency, which of these possibilities collapses into your experience. This means that the rich, abundant, prosperous life you desire doesn't need to be created from nothing. It already exists as a quantum possibility, as a wave of potential in an infinite field. Your task is not to create it. It's to tune your frequency to it. It's to raise your vibration until you resonate with that possibility. And when resonance happens, collapse happens, possibility becomes reality. Dream becomes lived experience. But here's what most people don't understand. You can't change your frequency while maintaining the same level of consciousness. Limited consciousness generates limited frequency. Limited frequency attracts limited reality. To change your frequency deeply and permanently, you need to expand your consciousness. You need to awaken to who you truly are.
This awakening to your true nature is what we call the quantum awakening of wealth. Quantum because it is grounded in understanding how reality works at the most fundamental level. Of wealth because it leads you to access not only material wealth, but wealth in all dimensions, total abundance of being. And when you are rich in being, manifesting wealth and having becomes a natural consequence. The journey you are about to embark on has 4 phases recognition, where you identify the programs that keep you asleep. Release, where you consciously let go of these programs. Elevation, where you consistently practice higher frequencies and integration, where you permanently live from the new, expanded consciousness. Each phase is essential. Each phase takes you deeper into awakening. And there's something important you need to know from the start. This process will challenge you. It will make you uncomfortable because awakening requires you to die to your old identity. And death, even when it leads to rebirth, is frightening. But on the other side of that discomfort, on the other side of that symbolic death, there is a freedom you never imagined possible. There is a life that surpasses your wildest dreams. So take a deep breath. Feel the courage growing within you, because you wouldn't be here if you weren't ready. The universe doesn't call you to journeys you aren't capable of completing. If you are being called to quantum awakening, it's because you are ready. Ready to remember. Ready to expand. Ready to live the magnitude of your true self. To fully awaken, you first need to understand the layers of sleep, the specific programs that keep you asleep in limited consciousness and consequently in limited reality. Recognizing these layers is the first essential step to transcending them. Layer 1, the sleep of separation. This is the most fundamental illusion. You believe you are separate. Separate from the source. Separate from the universe. Separate from abundance. You see yourself as an isolated entity trying to survive in a hostile world. And from this belief in separation arises every form of fear, every form of limitation. Because if you are alone, you need to fight, compete, defend yourself. Awakening from this layer is recognizing you have never been separate. You are an inseparable part of the whole. The entire ocean pulsates in every drop. The infinite source flows through you. Layer 2, the sleep of limited identity. You identify yourself as a body, as a personality, as a personal history. You believe you are the sum of your past experiences, your current limitations, your external circumstances. And this identification holds you captive. Because if you are only that, you are limited by what that can do. Awakening from this layer is recognizing you are not the character. You are the consciousness experiencing through the character. And consciousness has no limits. It has no limiting history. It is not bound by circumstances. Layer 3. The sleep of inherited beliefs. You carry beliefs that aren't even your own. They were absorbed from family, society, culture, religion. Beliefs about money, about wealth, about deservingness, about possibility. And these beliefs operate silently, shaping your frequency, creating your reality. Money is the root of all evil. Rich people don't go to heaven. We have to suffer to deserve. People like me don't prosper. Awakening from this layer means questioning everything, examining each belief, and consciously choosing which ones you keep and which ones you let go of. The sleep of linear time. You believe you are a prisoner of time, that your past determines your present and your present determines your future. That change is a slow and gradual process, but in the quantum field, time is not linear. All possibilities exist now. Awakening from this layer is recognizing you can make quantum leaps. You don't need to drag the past into the future. You can choose a completely new timeline now. Radical change is possible in instants when consciousness shifts. The victim's sleep. You believe that things happen to you, that you are the effect, not the cause. That external circumstances control your experience. And while you see yourself as a victim, you are powerless. Awakening from this layer is about taking full responsibility. Not blame, but power. Recognizing that you are the conscious or unconscious creator of your experience. And when you assume the process of awakening these layers is not intellectual, you can't think your way out of them. You need to feel, experience, embody new levels of consciousness. And this happens through specific practices that we will explore. Practice 1. Observation meditation. Sit in silence daily. Observe your thoughts without identifying with them. Realize that there is you, the observer, and there are thoughts that you observe. This distance creates space, and in that space you begin to disidentify from the limited mind and recognize the unlimited consciousness that you are. Start with 5 minutes daily. Gradually increase to 20. Practice 2. Deep questioning for each limiting belief about money and wealth that you identify. Ask yourself 3 questions. Is this really true? Where did this belief come from? Does this belief serve me? And then consciously choose a new belief that expands you. Write down the new belief, feel it. Repeat it until it becomes your operational truth. Visualizing timelines every day. Visualize yourself living in the timeline of total abundance, not as a fantasy, but as a rehearsal for the reality you are choosing. Feel the emotions of that timeline: joy, peace, gratitude, confidence. Your nervous system doesn't distinguish between real and vividly imagined experience. You are training your body to vibrate at the frequency of the abundant timeline. Practice 4. Declarations of creative responsibility. Daily declare: I am the conscious creator of my experience. I choose my frequency. I collapse my reality. I take full responsibility for my power. This takes you out of the victim position and puts you in the creator position. And creators have power that victims will never have. Connecting with the expanded self before going to sleep. Mentally connect with the highest version of yourself, the version that has already fully awakened. Ask for guidance. Ask for wisdom. Listen to the insights that arise. You are accessing higher levels of your own consciousness.
And these levels have perspective and wisdom that your limited ego does not have. Quantum gratitude, practice gratitude not only for what you have, but for what you are becoming, for the awakening that is happening, for the layers that are dissolving, for the frequency that is rising. Gratitude accelerates the entire transformation process because it is one of the highest frequencies accessible. These 6 practices, when applied consistently, begin to dissolve the layers of sleep. And as you awaken layer by layer, something magical happens. Your frequency changes. And when your frequency changes, your perception changes. You begin to see opportunities that were previously invisible. You begin to attract people who match your new frequency. You begin to experience constant synchronicities. You begin to live in flow. And this flow is tangible evidence that you are awakening, that you are moving from limited consciousness to expanded consciousness, that you are raising your frequency from scarcity to abundance. This is the path. This is the process, and you are exactly where you need to be. Awakening is a process of removal, of letting go, of releasing. But there is also an active component. There is a conscious expansion of your vibrational frequency. There are practices that not only remove limitations, but actively raise you to higher frequencies. And the more time you spend in higher frequencies, the more they become your natural state. Understand this. You are fundamentally vibration, energy in motion, a pulsate electromagnetic field. And this field can vibrate at low or high frequencies. Fear, anger, shame, guilt are low frequencies. Love, joy, peace, gratitude are high frequencies. And you have a conscious choice about which frequency you cultivate. The first tool for vibrational expansion is intentional. Emotion. Most people experience emotions reactively. Something happens and they react emotionally. But you can generate emotion proactively. You can choose to feel deep gratitude even without an external reason. You can choose to feel unconditional love. You can choose to feel peace that transcends circumstances. And when you do this, when you consciously generate elevated emotions, you raise your frequency immediately. Practice this daily. Dedicate 10 minutes to intentionally generating high emotions. Choose gratitude, love, or peace. Don't think about it. Feel it. Let it fill your chest. Let it radiate from your heart. Let it take over your entire body. No external reason. Just pure generation of high frequency. This trains your nervous system to operate at higher frequencies independent of external circumstances. The second tool is cardiac coherence. Your heart is the body's most powerful electromagnetic generator. When the heart is in coherence, when the heart rhythm is harmonious and ordered, you enter a state of maximum power. Cardiac coherence synchronizes the brain and heart, aligns all your systems, and dramatically amplifies your electromagnetic field. Practice rhythmic breathing focused on the heart. 5 seconds inhaling, 5 seconds exhaling for 5 minutes. This creates coherence. And coherence is a high frequency state. The third tool is sound and frequency. Everything is vibration. Sound is audible vibration. And certain sound frequencies raise your cellular vibration. Music at specific frequencies like U-Hen-3 Hz or 783 Hz or 783 Hz resonates with the bodies and the universe's natural frequencies. Listen to music at these frequencies during meditation, work, or rest. You are literally bathing your cells in elevated frequencies. The fourth tool is conscious movement. Stagnant energy creates low vibration. Movement releases stagnation and raises vibration. But not just any movement. Conscious movement, yoga, tai chi, free dance. Meditators walking movement where you are present, feeling your body, breathing consciously. This moves energy, releases blockages, raises frequency. Practice at least 15 minutes of conscious movement daily. The fifth tool is vibrational nutrition. Foods have frequency. Processed foods full of chemicals have a low frequency. Natural foods, especially raw ones, have a high frequency. Pure water has a high frequency. You literally build your body with what you eat. If you want your body vibrating at a high frequency, feed it high frequency foods. It doesn't have to be perfect, but be mindful. Every food choice is a vibrational choice. The sixth tool is nature. Nature vibrates at high and harmonious frequencies. Time and nature, especially barefoot touching the earth, recalibrates your frequency. You synchronize with the planet's natural rhythms. This is called grounding or earthing. It has measurable effects on your electromagnetic field. Practice at least 20 minutes in nature weekly, if possible, daily. The seventh tool is a negativity fast. To expand your vibration, you need to stop consuming negative content. Negative news lowers your vibration. Conversations about problems lower your vibration. Constant complaining lowers your vibration. For 21 days, do a total fast from negativity. Don't watch alarmist news. Don't participate in complaining conversations. Don't consume dramatic and conflict-ridden content. This creates space for higher frequencies to establish themselves. The eighth tool is service. When you serve, when you contribute, when you make a positive difference in another's life, you automatically raise your frequency. Because service takes you out of a limited ego and connects you with something greater. Find ways to serve regularly, not out of obligation, out of joy, because it elevates you as much as it elevates the person you serve. The ninth tool is creativity. Creation is an act of high frequency. When you create, whether it's art, music, writing, gardening, cooking, any creative expression, you access higher frequencies. You connect with flow, and flow is a state of high vibration. Dedicate regular time to pure creative expression, without judgment, simply for the pleasure of creating. The 10th tool is high frequency. Community frequencies are contagious. If you spend time with low frequency people, you absorb that. If you spend time with high frequency people, you raise yourself intentionally. Seek out communities that vibrate at frequencies. You aspire to meditation groups, manifestation circles, spiritual communities, any space where people are consciously working on elevation. Use these 10 tools not as a rigid checklist, but as a menu of possibilities. Choose 5 that resonate most with you. Integrate them into your daily life. And observe as your frequency expands, as you naturally begin to vibrate at higher levels. And as your vibration expands, your life experience expands. Opportunities multiply, abundance flows, synchronicities happen. Life becomes magical. You have awakened from the layers of sleep. You have expanded your vibrational frequency. And now comes the most important and most challenging phase. Integration to live permanently from this new, expanded consciousness, to make awakening, not an occasional event, but your constant natural state. This is mastery. The second truth is, life will test you. When you raise your frequency, you attract situations that test whether this elevation is superficial or profound. Challenges will come, not to punish you, but to strengthen your awakening. Your task is not to avoid challenges, but to meet them with expanded awareness. To respond at a high frequency even when circumstances invite a low frequency. The third truth is,
Old identities resist death. The part of you that was identified with limitation will resist expansion. It will create doubts. It will seek evidence that awakening is not real. It will try to convince you to return to the comfort zone of known limitation. Acknowledge this voice. Thank it for trying to keep you safe. And then, gently but firmly, choose expanded consciousness. The fourth truth is, you need anchors, daily practices that reconnect you with expanded consciousness. Morning meditation, gratitude upon waking, visualization before bed, heart coherence at midday. These anchors bring you back when you get lost in limited consciousness. They are not optional. They are essential for living consistently awake. The fifth truth is, environment matters enormously. You cannot maintain a high frequency in an environment that constantly lowers it. You need to consciously create a physical and social environment that supports your awakening. A harmonious and beautiful physical space after relationships. Work that inspires you. If your current environment does not support your awakening, you need to start changing it, even gradually. The sixth truth is, you become a teacher when you awaken. You naturally begin to teach, even unintentionally. Your presence teaches, your frequency inspires. People seek you out wanting to know what has changed in you. Share generously, but without evangelism. Some people are ready, others are not. Respect everyone's timing. But don't dim your light to make others comfortable with your darkness. The seventh truth is, abundance becomes natural when you consistently live in expanded consciousness and high frequency. The manifestation of abundance ceases to be an effort and becomes a natural consequence. Money flows more easily, opportunities appear, ideas emerge, the right people cross your path, not because you are forcing it, but because you are aligned. You are being who you truly are, and being authentic is magnetically attractive. The eighth truth is, you discover purpose. Awakening reveals purpose. You begin to understand why you are here, what your unique contribution is. And when you align with purpose, life gains profound meaning. Work becomes an expression of purpose. Wealth becomes a tool to fulfill purpose. Everything connects in a coherent web of meaning. The ninth truth is, gratitude becomes continuous. When you live awakened, gratitude isn't a practice you do. It's the lens through which you see everything. You are constantly in a state of appreciation for life, for consciousness, for experiences, for growth, for awakening itself. This continuous gratitude keeps you at the highest possible frequency. The 10th truth is, you recognize the journey is endless. There are always deeper levels of awakening, higher frequencies, more expanded consciousness. You never reach a point where there is no more growth possible. And that's not frustrating, it's liberating. It means there's always more wonder, more discovery, more expansion ahead. The journey is infinite, and infinite is where you live now. And finally, the ultimate truth of life awakens. You realize you were never separate, that all suffering came from this illusion of separation, that you always were, are now, and always will be inseparable part of the whole wave in the ocean. A ray of sunshine, a unique expression of universal consciousness. And from this perception is born a peace that transcends understanding. Unconditional love is born. Unwavering certainty is born. You are home. You have always been home. You simply forgot, and now you remember. This is the quantum, awakening of wealth, not just material wealth,
although that flows naturally, but wealth of being, wealth of consciousness, wealth of experience, wealth of connection, wealth of purpose, wealth of a life lived fully, magnificently, authentically. You began this journey sleeping in limitation. You recognized the layers of sleep. You practiced awakening. You expanded your frequency. And now you integrate, living permanently from expanded
a drop searching for the ocean. You are the entire ocean dancing as a drop, and in that dance all the riches of the universe are.